Hello there, vinyl community. It's Jacob coming to you from the Dallas Open Micer YouTube channel with a long overdue response to the challenge that Ryan over at the iHonkyTonk vinyl YouTube channel put out to provide a response, a rebuttal, a rebuke to the list of 10 essential albums from Willie Nelson that Discogs put out in honor of Willie's most recent birthday. I'm going to bend the rules a bit here. I'm not going to give you a list of essentials. I'm going to give you a list of albums that are my favorites based on how often I play them. So there are going to be some essentials that are left out, either because I don't play them as much as some of these other albums, and also I'll be leaving out some albums that I don't have in my collection. I'm not a streamer, so I generally don't play albums unless I own them in physical media form. So I will be leaving out an essential album right out of the gate. I don't have a physical copy of Willie's debut album on Liberty. What I have are these comps, and they're great to have, but they're not an essential album. I'm also going to be leaving out. I have a very limited RCA collection, so some essential RCA albums are not going to make it in this video. But then there are also some essentials that don't make my list of favorites based on how often I play them. And Phases and Stages is one of them. If I was making an essential list of Willie Nelson records that I think everybody should hear, I would include this. Bloody Mary Morning is always a lot of fun to hear, but the concept album aspect of this and the divorce theme is not something that draws me back to this record over and over again. It's a bit of a downer. Kind of like the Frank Sinatra album in the Wee Small Hours, just an essential Frank Sinatra record, but I'd rather go with Frank Sinatra and Songs for Swingin' Lovers, something that's upbeat. And I would call this an essential Willie Nelson album, but I don't play it as much as the others that I'm going to show you. Here's another essential Willie Nelson album that I don't play as much as the others that I'm going to show you. I play this one more than Phases and Stages. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's an essential album. If anyone wants to argue that this is Willie Nelson's best record, I will not push back or fight you on that one. I think that's a fair opinion. I would not part with this record, but I don't play it as often as some of these others. And one of the reasons is not a flaw. It's because this record does demand more conscious listening than some of his other albums, and I respect it enough that I'm not just going to throw it down as background filler music for the soundtrack of my life. Moving ahead, here's my list of favorites. I'll start with the first Willie Nelson album I ever picked up, and for a lot of people, it would be this one. For a lot of people, this is the only Willie Nelson album they ever owned. It's the Stardust album from 1978. I picked this one up when I was in high school. I did not become a country music fan until I was in my 30s, and this was one of the records that helped get me there. Like I mentioned, Frank Sinatra. That was the stuff that I got into as a teenager, and so I was familiar with these tunes, and was happy to pick this one up. And this album has only grown on me over the years. I do think that the production is a little bit sugary. but I think it still works. I like the Booker T. Jones arrangements. I love the guitar work on this one, and the production from Bernie Grundman is incredible. So I do think this one holds up. And I do never tire of it. It never stops sounding beautiful to me. But as I've become a country fan, something like this has really fallen into my sweet spot. When I first picked this up, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I assumed that this fresh-faced kid here was this was going to be a Countrypolitan record produced by Chet Atkins. I didn't know that Willie had sneaked in the Texas Troubadours of Ernest Tubb and cranked out this honky-tonk masterpiece. The honky-tonk sound with the steel guitar and the fiddles playing against each other and a good shuffling drums, it's just perfection for me. And this is a record that never stops being a good time. Speaking of the honky-tonkin', I'm going to combine these two, this 2016 tribute album to Ray Price here with Willie and the Time Jumpers. I do love this throwback album cover design that pays tribute as well to the Columbia albums that Ray put out, and I wish they had. I wish they had done the same with the label like they do on the Bob Dylan records. But they missed the boat on that one. What I love about this is it gives us a good spectrum of great tunes. We've got that throwback, like a double tribute with Bob Wills songs from that Ray Price tribute album to Bob Wills. Then we got tribute to Ray's honky-tonkin' years in the 50s, the early Countrypolitan stuff, and then the songs that Ray recorded from Willie Nelson. So it ticks all the boxes, and that happens again here too. This one is my favorite of their duets albums. It holds up quite nicely. It's got the touring band of the time here. During that glorious span where you have Johnny Gimble and Grady Martin in the band together, and then you have Buddy Emmons on steel guitar. There's nothing like honky-tonk music. But then shifting gears again, here's a sleeper album that Ryan threw in on his list of 10 essentials, and this is one you definitely don't want to judge by the cover. You flip by this one, you think it might be a Duran Duran or something, but it's the overlooked and under-respected masterpiece from the 1980s. Now, the haters at Discogs give this a 3.55 rating, but that's nothing compared to the abuse that this album suffers in the all music reviews. The official all music score for this one is 1.5 stars, and the user reviews only give this 2.5 stars. Then the reviewer for All Music really piles in here, says Willie seemed to be releasing an album every 3 months or so, and with this record certainly sounds like he was spreading himself too thin. And that gets my blood boiling, because I think nothing of the sort is going on here. When I listen to this album, I hear Willie Nelson having a good time doing exactly what he wanted to do in the studio, without any real pressure to try to conform to a mold. This isn't Stardust 2.0. This is a jazzy guitar album that prominently and proudly features the guitar of Jackie King, and I think it holds a special place in Willie Nelson discography. There isn't another one quite like this. The guitar is it's very smooth, but it's not what you would call smooth jazz. It's just quite delightful to the ear, and get a surprise appearance by Ray Charles on the title track. I don't care for the song "The Gypsy" on here, but I'm not one that believes in involving the occult in your love life. But the side 2 opening with "My Window Faces the South" is a good one that would satisfy anybody that loves the Western swing honky-tonk style of Willie, as well as the jazzy side. All right, an album that I could not leave off the list here of favorites. This one features 3 songs from my favorite songwriter, entertainer, performer, Billy Joe Shaver. So this one was unavoidable. I do think that the major flaw with this record is that the title track, "Me and Paul," is not as strong as the more raw, perhaps outlaw or pre-outlaw sounding original version that you hear on Yesterday's Wine. But even though this has overall got some slicker 80s production on it, still the songs on here are strong enough that this album really works for me. Then going about as far away from slick as possible is this gospel album here. It's a very stripped down album that it really sounds like Willie might have been taking orders from Little Sister on this record. This is on a label that I was not aware of. It's on Arrival. And this record, it's got two dates on it, 1986, 1987. And Arrival is a imprint of, or gospel imprint of KTEL International. And I was not aware of it when I found it, but this is a tough record to find on vinyl. But if you want to hear the record, it's available as a laser light reissue CD called Old Time Religion that you can find cheap online. Another one that really doubles as an essential and one of my favorites, Country Willie. This is a mono press, and it sounds amazing. The track lists are, the track listing is, it's like the greatest hits and a standalone album at the same time. I'm speeding up here. We got Willie Nelson, the Troublemaker. You might be able to see the pile of records I have on the floor. I've been doing some cleaning and making videos today, so I can see what I got down there. I got a stack of records on the floor, but I'm human enough to get embarrassed. This is a upbeat gospel record. Even atheists would probably enjoy this one. Oh, I bumped the camera again. Pardon me. Here we go again. Another essential that is a strong candidate for anybody's favorite Willie Nelson record. I do love the spread that the shotgun takes. We got Outlaw Willie, but we also have Willie dipping into the Bob Wills, Cindy Walker territory here, and we get the historic first appearance from Willie of his signature Johnny Bush cover that became his theme song, Whiskey River. Oh, my last record in this set before we or in this video before I switch over to the CDs is one that I think gets a little too much disrespect. This Over the Rainbow album, and it's another one of these Willie Nelson records I picked up before I became a country music fan, because I like the old standards in the American Songbook. But we've got Johnny Gimbel and Freddie Powers on this thing. I do think that the duets that Freddie Powers sings on this suffer a little bit because the songs weren't meant for being duets. But this is the album where Willie Nelson really leans in heavily to his Django Reinhardt fanboy, and it's a great sounding record with Willie playing Django and Johnny Gimbel playing Stefan Grappelli, and you can just hear the joy going back and forth in their playing. It's a very jazzy record, and it's upbeat and fun and fantastic. But again, the villains over at AllMusic don't give it the respect that it's due. Here's what AllMusic says about this album. While it isn't a continuation of what he did on Stardust and Always on My Mind, the record is a safe resting spot and something all the grandmothers can enjoy. And I have some real problems with that review. I don't know where they get these reviewers, but this is not easy listening grandma music. If anybody's grandma wants to listen to this one, and I'm sure plenty of grandmas enjoyed this. I know plenty of grandmas enjoyed this, but this is not like Rod Stewart Sings the Great American Songbook. This is a real good jazz record, and Always on My Mind came out after this, and that's a major gaffe. Always on My Mind included A Whiter Shade of Pale, which is nothing like what is on this record. So I stand by this one. I'm not getting defensive. I'm being offensive with my criticism of that review. It's absolute ignorance. All right, we got CDs that I'll share with this one here. This Me and the Drummer album from 2000. It was one that made me think that this was referring to Paul English. As you see the word "the drummer" there, but this is the different drummer metaphor. And this album is a reunion of the great band The Offenders, a much better country supergroup than the Highwaymen. The Offenders was Willie Nelson, Johnny Bush, Jimmy Day, and David Zettner. What an incredible lineup. Eventually morphed into the Record Men, and this album here is Willie with the Offenders, and it's a relaxed honky-tonk masterpiece. We've got Johnny Gimbel and Floyd Domino that join in the fun on this one, and overall it's an absolute thrill. But if you're familiar with this album and what I mentioned about divorce being a downer early on, you might know there is a track on here that it's one you can skip over. No Tomorrow in Sight. The song talks about, hey, maybe I'll slip out tonight because if the kids saw me leaving, they'd be crying. And that's just not a lot of fun, is it? So when I'm talking about favorites that I can enjoy on repeat, then the benefits of having the CD is you can skip over that sort of thing. Another one that Ryan included in his list, 2006, You Don't Know Me, the songs of Cindy Walker. that is the songs of Cindy Walker. And I second guessed myself, and I was right. But it's a I don't know. This is like a love letter, very well done. And the title is perfect here. You Don't Know Me, overlooked legend in country music, who's been getting her due in more recent years. But you know, when you get your due in a niche culture, you know, it's not making a big splash. It's not making any headlines out there. And here's an honorable mention. This one here, Night and Day, Willie Nelson. It's Willie's instrumental jazz album, and the notes provided by Ray Benson point out that it does. I'll paraphrase. It's Willie leaning again into the Django Reinhardt fanboy brain of his, and he's got a few songs that were part of the what became the Django Reinhardt songbook, and having Johnny Gimbel on fiddle again, playing the part of Stefan Grappelli is a lot of fun. There is a bit of a blend of the Django Reinhardt gypsy jazz and you know, Tex-Mex guitar, but I really like the upbeat numbers on this record here, the CD. This one is Night and Day. Well, that was fun. My goodness gracious. If you liked this, I invite you to you know, make a response video yourself. If my response has irritated you, if my takes and my taste bothered you, I invite you to respond with a video of your own. And I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are, see them in video form. I have some digging to do to complete and round out my collection. Like I said earlier, I don't have a lot of those RCA records. I used to see them a lot before I was a country fan, and I missed the boat on those. But we all live with regrets, and I like to think that if you made it to the end of this video, that watching this video was not a regret, that you had a good time. Thanks for stopping by, and well, I hope we all enjoy listening to some Willie Nelson records this week.